All right, man. I want to go to this next topic, man. Shout out. So, I had no idea. I felt like Dr. Umar. I said I had no idea that this was even going on. So for this to make the most sense, man, it's not gonna hit the same if I don't show y'all the infamous encounter with Kendra.G and Kevin Samuels, where she called, right, and they had a conversation, and the conversation that Kevin was having with her was basically about the truth of the matter. You know what I'm saying? In terms of what options older women have. But we're gonna go ahead and let it play.
41, right? So when I listened to the women, when I was in the 30s, when I heard the girls from up here, they remind me of myself because I was like, he got to have a lot of money. He got to take care of all the bills. That's what I was on. And I run in those circles. But what I've learned is a lot of those men just couldn't be faithful. So then I learned, well, that's my deal breaker. Faithfulness is my deal breaker. So I've been blessed.
So the question I have then is, because I hear what you're saying, but then I'm also like, that sounds good.
Okay.
Because you 41 years old, married, any kids?
Nope, I froze my eggs though, so I got a safety net just in case.
So you're accustomed to a certain standard of life.
This is true.
And if a man is making the median of what a black man is making, $42,500, he can't afford your standard of life.
So is that my problem?
See, it's the reality of the world. See, what happens far too often, especially in our community, is black women wait too long to get married. You wait till you're too old. You wait till you have too much experience, and your experience and your income has gone up, and that is inversely proportional to your sexual marketplace value.
So can I speak to that?
So let me finish making the example, because I hear women come on and say, you know what, that high value thing, I really don't want that because I don't want to have to share him. All right.
You know what? And you know what's funny about that whole conversation is that it's more than that. And that was a good conversation to get started. Of, for one, putting more of more words to it, more logic to it. And this is when we get to these conversations about women and these invisible men that they're waiting for. You know what I mean? And the point he's making is so, I don't say profound, but it's the reality, and it all points to, it's really hard to have a relationship with a woman who's older, who's already, especially if she's had many relationships or she's never been married. And for the most part, if she has kids, she's it's like, she's like, that her man is the guy she had kids with. It's really hard for you to kind of replace him in her heart. You know what I mean? And but not only that, it makes it more obvious how much that women have to start earlier. Because I've been talking to my friends about this. I talk about this all the time about how, my best friend, he knew his wife when she was a younger woman and she was still in her 20s. You know what I'm saying? I think she was 27, like when they met. So she was still a younger woman. You know what I mean? So he got to see her as a young woman. You know what I mean? And and grow with her, right? And also they have a great life together because they got it together. They may have certain conversations about certain things, but that's how the American dream is actually achieved. All right, it's two people coming together and combining resources, and that's why they've been able to live in the suburbs since 2014. They had been able to live in the suburbs and never have to worry about where he's going to live at, no eviction, none of that stuff, because they have two middle-class incomes. That's how it's actually done. And she didn't wait forever to meet a man. And what you find is that women who, especially women who've experienced men with money, it only takes one. Because it's my theory that most women, the only way you're going to experience multiple men with money is if you're a sex worker. There's no other way that happens. I mean, for the most part, even when I'm looking on these dating apps, right? Because I started getting back on the Facebook dating app because it's still free. So I'm going to be screenshotting. I can't find anything that's too good. But for the most part, you'll even see cute girls talk or pretty girls talking about how they don't go nowhere. please take me on a date. I want to go out. I want to do what I'm saying. And like, and of course, shout out to AC. It's lockout season, baby. All right. We're in renegotiations. We're going to get this right. All right. All the men are all finally on the same page about this dating shit. And a lot of us are saying, yo, the economy is too tough right now to be wasting money. All right. And wasting time, but I can put that time into earning more. You know what I'm saying? Like what I'm doing right now. Shout out to the GOAT KS. Long finish cooking.
But then, are you going to be able to look at a man making $45,000 a year and respect him to the same level that a high value man would be respected?
I would respect a man who's hardworking, and as long as he doesn't try to minimize me in any way. Now, that's the biggest thing. If he's okay with me being my full self.
You didn't answer whether or not you respect him to the same level you respect the high value man.
Well, let me tell you this. I'm going to say yes, only because I'm going to tell you this. I've dated high value men. I've dated the men with the Rolls Royces and all the cars and all the glitz and glamour. And they always thought because they had the cars and the glitz and glamour that you got to bow down to them. And
I get it. But I'm talking about the man who's working at the post office.
I would say, now, I'm going to tell you my requirements. I want you to be attractive. So if you're a guy that's working at the post office and you're attractive and you...
Hold on, let me time out. Why do you want to be attractive?
I can't have nothing.
No, let me explain. See, this is what's so wrong for so many of our women. You're supposed to be the attractive one, not us. Okay. Black women today have atavistic mating standards, very primitive, meaning I want you to look good. So he can make $40,000 a year as long as he look good.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he can make $40,000 a year. I'm not.
That's what most black men make, $42,500.
Okay, so Kevin, so are you saying in your perspective that it's over for me? Then I don't have.
No, it's not. No, what I'm saying is your price is too high.
How is my price too high?
So what she doesn't understand is that so what she's saying on one hand is that she actually is ready to make a deal. But what women want to do when they concede to understand that maybe I'm not going to get a guy that makes a whole bunch, right? But at least basically I'm going to be getting piped down good. You know what I'm saying? And because she's speaking to what her only option is, a young broke nigga. If she want a guy that looks good, he's going to be a younger broker dude. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to pay. The women at this point, especially when you older, you would do better once you realize you ain't gotta pay in terms of giving a nigga, actually giving them money and stuff like that, but letting go with his sugar baby, cat baby free fantasy. First of all, let go of fantasy. But I'm gonna keep saying that. I think that one of the reasons why it's hard for the women to connect with the men because you're having a hard time seeing him as a full human being that has emotions that you have to consider every time. Not sometimes, every time. All right. And also speaking to that price, like I was saying before, once y'all just pretty much say, yo, if I meet you and you can take care of yourself, I think maybe his example of, the guy at the post office is a little bit extreme. Unless you talk about someone's been in for a while. I think post office jobs have steps. I think you do make more at some point. But I understand that Kevin was trying to make content. So he had being as though she's a good example of the women that actually pulls it off, that pulls the career thing off. Because most women they not getting a lot of bread like that. So anyway, so this conversation is viral in the Black YouTube space because she does a show where she speaks to single women. And the women who come on there are so ridiculous, like the women who came on Kevin Samuel's show. The people who come on there are ridiculous to the point where content creators like myself can make endless content just off this alone, right? So I want to kind of react to this whole thing going on between Kendra.G and Tasha K. All right, so I'm gonna let a lot of it rock and everything. This might be my last subject for tonight. I think I might do a Drake joint tomorrow, maybe, because it's getting late. But I don't have a moral of the story yet. But Tasha K's main angle is that, yo, For one, what you're going to see play out